has been quite complicated due to the pandemic and other issues, but everything that supports integration deserves to be welcomed, including this agreement between Mercosur and the EU. Good afternoon. We have two questions as well. So, my first question is as follows. What do you think about Argentina's president's idea that Bolivia should join Mercosur next year? And if Mercosur adds another member, will that be a new driver for growth? Because it seems that it is really in need of such locomotive, of such driver. What about Mercosur and the Eurasian Economic Union? What about their cooperation? Thank you very much for your question. A couple of days ago, I've been to Bolivia and I spent my younger years there, and I cherish every memory I have about the country. So I had a conversation with the foreign ministry, and he took a lot of interest in joining Mercosur. For that, the country needs to complete all the remaining procedures. As for Argentina's role in this process, due to the events that happened in Bolivia, Argentina decided to put the lead on the process of Bolivia joining Mercosur. So if now Bolivia finally does what is necessary to become part of the group, and now Uruguay is presiding pro tempore, then in December, when we pass it over to Argentina, it will be able to use this opportunity to let Bolivia continue joining Mercosur. And could you remind me the second question, please? What are your expectations regarding a possible agreement between Mercosur and the Eurasian Economic Union? I've already mentioned that we see a lot of fragmentation across the world, and we need to be fighting for greater integration. It is in my opinion that Uruguay will continue pushing hard for any such agreement if it is on the table. So we would support such an initiative to establish greater framework between Mercosur and the Eurasian Economic Union. Good afternoon, Press Latina, Cuba. My question goes to Foreign Minister of Uruguay and Foreign Minister of Russia as well. We know that in Uruguay, the situation with the COVID-19 pandemic has become a bit more severe lately. So, are you in any discussion regarding getting access to Russia's Sputnik V vaccine? Do you plan to negotiate this vaccine? And Mr. Lavrov, may I ask you about the situation in Venezuela? We know that the country is soon to see the parliamentary election that will happen on Sunday. The context is quite complicated. Venezuela is under sanctions imposed by the US. So will Russia's State Duma be sending its observers to the parliamentary election in Venezuela? And will Russia in any way be observing the process? As for COVID-19, as you probably know, recently Uruguay has been going strong. We've been achieving very good results. So I think it's a miracle that we are doing that good. We've been fighting quite successfully, responding and every way we could, and recent success is very much the achievement of our people who are acting very responsibly. Uruguay is a small country. We are squeezed into between two larger countries, Argentina and Brazil. In these countries, the situation with the coronavirus pandemic is very difficult. So COVID-19 is banging our doors, even though we see that figures in Uruguay are quite good compared to others. That is a no reason to sit on our laurels. So we need to share experience. We need to exchange our best practices. 2 weeks ago, technical specialists came to our country. They're working on the Sputnik V vaccine. They came to our health ministry, as well as we had people coming from various laboratories. Of course, we welcomed them. We had a number of discussions over the issues which are of interest to us. And now we are making a decision on which vaccine we will be acquiring. Russia's vaccine is a good option. Let's wait and see.
Well, let's go back to the first question, because we exchanged statistics today, and Russian specialists do not believe that the COVID-19 situation in Uruguay is that difficult, that critical, and the figures are not that high. They're actually low. A lot of being done to protect the people from the disease. Less than 6,000 Uruguayans were found to have contracted the virus. We have discussed the ongoing research to develop vaccines. We spoke about the 2 vaccines registered in Russia, and the third one is also coming soon. We also spoke about Uruguay's neighbors and the way they're talking with Russia. Well, Argentina and Brazil are talking to Russia about the possibility of purchasing Sputnik V vaccines. So they know what our vaccine is like, how it works, how effective it is. And as Mr. Bustillo has said, the decision will be made based on the existing options and comparing them. As for the Venezuelan parliamentary elections, well, the situation is not as complicated and as in many other countries that uh, present themselves as much more democratic. I have met uh, Venezuelan politicians a couple of weeks ago, including the opposition, and the Venezuelan leadership has been very open and active about promoting the idea of a national dialogue, including all the opposition forces. So I believe that these will be very competitive elections. They will be very well organized. And I very well hope that those observing the elections from the outside will only look at the factual state of affairs and the facts, not on their wishes and the wishes of how it should look. Russia will send its team of observers, and I hope and I'm sure that there will be observers from other countries as well. Their participation in the monitoring process will allow us to get a very objective picture of what's happening in the country. And that's it. Thank you.